Hello, weirdos. Welcome back to Brain Mucus. My name is thediceberollen, and this is the 8th episode of The Horror of Mental Health, which is a series within this podcast where my guest, or in this case, guests, and I discuss a movie of their choosing. The goal is not to judge or review the movie based on whether or not it's good or bad. It is to explore the significance of it regarding mental health in the life of my guest or just in general. Today, I have the very special guests, Kira and Meka of Double Feature Podcast joining me.
Hi! Hello! Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. No, I'm excited.
My pleasure, of course. Of course. How are you doing this evening?
Oh, good. Yes. Can't complain. I mean, you could, but we're not.
Yeah.
We have too many good things to be happy about.
Well, I mean, hey, we're here to talk about mental health, so why not?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So, for those who do not know who you guys are, why don't you introduce yourselves?
Oh, yeah. So, if you don't know, Meka and I are twins, and we run a podcast, a double feature podcast. You can listen on anywhere you get your podcasts from. And we also can be found at Double Feet Podcast on social media. And we usually just talk about things, film, TV, female-centric films. Yep. And we also have a YouTube, and we're trying to stream a little bit more, so you can find us on YouTube as well. We're working on being consistent.
Aren't we all?
Work in progress. So yes.
That's always fun. Be consistent. Right.
Oh, I know.
I'm consistently in a state of existential dread. Does that count?
Dice, yes. That's real sometimes, honestly.
That's deep. Welcome, everybody. No. I see there's a few different people, of course, in the chat. As always, just for everybody who's in the chat, we will be getting to your questions in a segment a little bit later. But for now, we will simply say hello. Hi, Marty. How are you? How you doing? Sean, nice to see you. See, people hate this, but not a big Alien fan. Aliens, on the other hand, top 30 favorite movies. All right. That's White Bat intro. Yep, of course. White Bat Stan, bless. Quality music. Thank you. Hello, Cat Dad. All right, so let's see. We have our list of questions, as I mentioned. So, first, as kind of a further introduction for everybody, for you guys, how did you get into horror, and how long have you been a fan of the genre?
Oh, wow. Well, I think we started watching horror when we were really small. Yeah, I want to say like around maybe 8, 9. Yeah, well, it could even be younger, but I think those were some of the first films I remember watching, and particularly Alien and The Exorcist. Oh, I think was Demons. Night of the Demons were like the first ones I can remember watching. Probably shouldn't have watched them that small.
That seems to be the pattern.
Yes, it's our favorite genre. We love all genres, but that's our favorite genre. Like this is what you put on the most. Yeah, like on a random day, like if we're trying to find a film to watch, it usually is a horror film. Yeah, because it's like a comfort. Is that weird? So I just enjoy it. Yeah.
There's a lot of horror comfort films, but that's just on my end of things. All right, so just in case nobody knew somehow, what is the movie that you guys picked?
Aliens. Yes. And this one has to be one of our favorite films. It is. Yeah. And it's one, I think that's one that we watched the most. I feel like I've watched this film. I don't even know how many times. At this point, this is beyond comprehension, even like many times. Yes, and we love it. So Alien stars Sigourney Weaver, Ripley. Yes. I know most people have heard of it. Yeah.
That's the one that everybody always likes to bring up. Of course, Alien is a classic. I quite enjoy it, but Aliens is the one that seems to get a lot of popularity.
Oh yeah, it's a great sequel. Like for a follow-up, I think it's a great sequel too. Yeah, because that's rare to do, and I think they did that one extremely well.
Yes.
Aliens. Yes.
How do we amp this up more? Oh, good. Right. So, as I mentioned backstage when we were talking just a moment ago, this is a first-time watch for me just yesterday.
I'm so excited.
So lots of people, including Marty, should be very happy now.
Yes.
Everyone. So thank you for that as well. And I don't know if this is different for everybody, but the one that I had is a special edition, which was like 2.5 hours.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
And it didn't feel it, to be quite honest.
No.
There's a
Oh,
lot
honestly,
going on.
listen, yeah, no, it goes really quick.
Yeah.
It feels like it goes
does,
really
yeah.
quick.
There's a lot of action.
Yes.
Lots of things. Lots of things. All right. So, aliens, but with the pretense here of mental health, of course. So, in your guys' opinions, what would be the mental illnesses or disorders that you think are represented in this movie?
Oh yeah. Well, I'll say the first one. I definitely will highlight anxiety.
Mm.
So anxiety is definitely number one.
I say depression.
Mm.
I would say some
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
We're seeing trauma,
Mm.
a lot of trauma, and grief is underlining that as well on
Oh,
top
yeah.
of the mental to health. So those are the ones that really.
Core ones that we highlighted.
Definitely. And actually, you bringing that up for some reason, my brain came up with this survivor's guilt, even maybe a little bit.
Oh, nice, nice.
Love that.
Yes.
And that's with more than just one character, but I think
Exactly. Yes. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
just war in general. This credit to Marty, he was pointing out a lot of things to me last evening when I was talking to him about this. But obviously, front and center, we have Ripley coming back, and she represents a lot of this, especially the PTSD.
Yes.
Even, I would say, even Newt. I mean, this is fresh trauma for her,
Right.
as a kid, no less.
Yes.
So there's some of that. Again, credit to Marty for pointing this out, but like Hudson, he's all like bravado, all American, let's go to war kind of thing. But as soon as he's faced with something that he didn't fathom, it's everything crumbles.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Agreed. I think with Vasquez losing. I think there's a soldier that's very close to her that she loses.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Also, war. I like
war,
looking
like
at
the
war.
impact of war and like a loss and the significance of the like that team dynamic was like they were like almost the three of them within reason.
Yeah. No, there's a lot. I always say that, but there's a lot that I'm sure that even us don't bring up.
Yeah.
So it's up for everybody's interpretation. So if
Exactly.
you got any ideas in the comments and whatnot. So hello. Bonjour.
Look at that.
Good timing.
That's right.
Love that.
There's even, interestingly enough, behind the scenes, there's some mental health stuff that was going on. Like again, Marty, thank you. Lance,
Great.
Marty's on it. If nobody else, Marty should provide the details. Thank you.
Yeah.
As I expected. But Lance Henriksen apparently used some of his own childhood trauma because he had an abusive father.
Look at that.
So he put that into Bishop as kind of this submissive, subservient kind of thing in a way. He just wants to be a good robot.
Yes. Yeah, and that's also great that you brought that up too, guys, because if you watch the first film, you know even Ripley's experience with the robot. She had a traumatic experience and how she's dealing with Bishop as a result of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the first to say this, of course, but that whole deal with Ash was essentially assault.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So no wonder she's wary of androids.
Yep.
But you know, we have a little bit of support here for Bishop.
I love it.
For those who are just listening to the podcast, I have my Bishop aliens
Love it.
that I can now wear without any sort of guilt. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yes, exactly. Nice.
Yeah. Hello, Gray. Welcome.
Hey.
All right. So I think overall PTSD, like war trauma, essentially is the message that a lot of people don't seem to grasp most of the time. which is interesting. I guess everybody's just focused on the absolute chaos and action that's being shown, which is a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah.
So let's see. Moving on to that. How, if this is possible, if not, that's totally.
Oh my goodness. No, I think Dice.
Dice. Did I freeze for a moment?
Yeah, you froze. Okay, you're back.
Yeah. That'll happen anyway.
Okay. I didn't want to make sure we didn't lose it.
No, I did that. I'll come back in like a few seconds, I swear.
Okay.
But that'll happen sometimes.
Okay.
So allow me to restart. How does all of this that's represented in the movie relate to you guys?
Oh, now I don't know if I've ever shared this. I won't go into too much detail, but I actually work full time. In my full time job, I am a case manager for the Department of Mental Health where I reside, and so in my work, I support individuals living with different mental health diagnoses. So it's kind of a part of my everyday life. Which is interesting in terms of how that parallels to what I read, what I watch, and then my own personal experiences.
Yeah, and the same thing too. I kind of work also for the state in kind of similar fashions, but more so with individuals with developmental disabilities. But I always am attracted to, not attracted to, but I seem to like to do work. Sorry, alarm. I seem to be always parallel in working with individuals who are dealing with some sort of mental health issues or trying to deal particularly with PTSD, trauma or grief. And one thing with this movie, also related to us, we've dealt with in the recent year too, a lot of loss.
I would say like trauma.
Yeah, a lot of trauma,
grief, anxiety,
with just a lot of changes. So that resonates to us when we see kind of Ripley and where she is in terms of kind of what she needs to overcome to move forward.
I always find like even if the experience isn't exactly the same, there are stark similarities, so you can relate to the emotional piece of it.
Yeah. No, that's great, you guys. I really appreciate your work. We'll put it that way. I think mental health is something that clearly needs more attention.
Oh my gosh. Definitely. Yes, Dice.
Yeah, it's very tough. And when you work with individuals who are dealing with that or battling it, it's not something that everyone can understand because it looks different from everyone, each person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I always say like one thing I always have to remind people is sometimes there's a lack of understanding or being informed about what someone is going through, because medical things, for example, people tend to be more empathetic or understanding in lieu of what they can't see, even though that's real, and it equates the same type of compassion and sensitivity and understanding.
And the mental can even affect the physical eventually.
Exactly. Yep.
So, but yeah, no, you put it very nicely, excuse, because it's essentially an invisible thing.
Yes.
And if people don't experience it, how can they relate to what someone else is going through? So, it's at least very interesting with fictional characters. I've found even myself to be able to relate to those characters, and that helps. So that's very interesting, I think. And of course, who is a better character to be able to relate to get you through things than Ripley?
Yes.
I'm telling you. Yep.
Yes.
It's a proper scream queen, yes.
She's our favorite. She's our favorite.
Always, every time, won't change.
Yeah, when people say your favorite Final Girl is Ripley, because even like I said, from the beginning to the second, the trajectory she takes and kind of how she kind of faces, because it's so easy to kind of be dejected and to kind of let the trauma or your PTSD or something keep you stagnant, but she chooses to kind of
move forward, even if that doesn't know what that looks like.
Very much, literally facing this even worse danger than the last time in the face.
Exactly, yes.
And of course, providing a very well-loved line in the movie.
That's my favorite. The Queen.
And look at the strength there too, where you said even to put herself back in that situation. Like think about how hard that is even to confront. That piece.
Because we said that too. Would you go back after dealing with
When you escaped, you actually like I mean, there was a lot of loss there. And then we know what it was like in terms of how long she was out there.
Yeah.
But like to say I'm gonna go back, how easy is that? Is not by any means.
No, and that was just after another thing for PTSD, a nightmare for her to essentially wake up and just go, okay, you know what? I have to do this.
Right. Yep.
So,
Yeah. Are you going to because you're going to continue
Be
experiencing
haunted.
it.
Yeah.
So, see, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things. Many things to discuss, and I think that's a wonderful thing. So, like I said, anybody in the chat, you have something that we haven't discussed, please.
Yeah.
Feel free. Choking, gagging, dying. So, I mentioned that I had just watched this yesterday, so my experience is still quite fresh. What was your guys' experience watching this for the first time?
See, I think we what I will say is I think that you gain a deeper appreciation for this film as you watch it more times but get older to understand more. I feel like the depth of it we understand with more clarity as we watched it over and over and gotten older. I think when we first saw it, we were like, scared. I was scared initially of aliens. I was, oh my god! Like I think there was
because that front and center is more of them.
Yes. So that was fear more so to begin with, and then of course you're seeing like all this action, like this woman like kicking butt. I would say Ripley is very badass in my opinion. But I will say we didn't have the same appreciation for it that we do now in terms of the language, the dialogue, the emotion that you see.
Yeah, because I think really focusing on what she overcame again, like looking at the first film to where you find her in the second. If you look past the action and what they're kind of dealing with, there's a lot of
character development too.
And even each of the like soldiers, you would kind of expect for them to be cutouts. But they're unique. They're each unique, and you have a reason to like them. Even Hudson, which a lot of people call annoying. I thought he was fine. I did
like Hudson. Yes, I ended up like really my Hudson Vasquez.
I love Hudson because his character was relatable in that, when chaos is ensuing, you just kind of you might lose it for a little bit, but he also is grounding too, because when he's really needed, he's there as a support. He tries to be.
Yeah, I mean he'll be vocal about how much he doesn't like the situation.
Yes.
But he's still gonna help. He'll still try.
Yes.
So hey, it's what's more real than going, this is fucked.
Yes, and he comes in clutch when you needed him too.
Yeah. I think rally, right? Even under that stress. Like ultimately knowing like, okay, I got to do what I need to do, even if I'm scared, like, because clearly there was a fear there too for Hudson in terms of like I think when we find Hudson first, he's like very, like you said, Dice, bravado, tough, like bring it on until he actually sees what the real threat is. And then what that looks like and what that means, but still then pulling it together because he had no choice to.
And I love this that supportive group of individuals because it shows too, in stressful times, you do need a support system, and that may look kind of different, but you kind of rely on certain people to kind of get you through
and provide instruction, give you something to focus your energy on.
And some, quite a few people actually, if I'm being honest, I was looking at some of the reviews, and there were people saying, "Well, this is found family, technically."
Yep.
So, Coral Hicks, everyone.
And even Newt and Ripley, they both were missing. Parts of each, they found what they were missing in each other. That was something else.
Ripley, a daughter, Newt, a parent.
See, so many things. And kind of on a similar subject, perhaps, at least as far as horror movies go. Are there any horror movies that you guys avoid?
Oh,
wow.
Well, I will say sometimes extreme because I'll give it like extreme maybe gore, extreme violence. It takes a lot for us not to watch something, but like we tried like The Sadness, really couldn't get through that, or like something like a Martyrs might be a one time, like I may watch it, but I can't watch that. Sometimes like that. I think like extreme.
And it's interesting. There's some films where I don't know if you would. I mean, what happens in them are horrifying, so it might not necessarily be a horror film. But like, there have happens some films that the subject matter like assault.
Yeah.
Like where I'm thinking of like Irreversible, or I'm
Like,
thinking of I Spit on Your Grave. There are some that are so intense
Yeah, I can't
that it's very hard for us to watch or even let alone revisit. But it's in that trauma in a very hard lens.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. That's something that a lot of people, I think, share. And I'm not. The last thing that we do here is say, hey, well, you're obviously more of a badass if you are able to watch those on repeat than others. No.
Right.
But I'm not going to take away from one person's experience to the other. But it's
Exactly.
totally understandable not to want to see that.
Yes. And that's what we say. Some people they can do it, and we say no issues there. But it's just tough for us to kind of watch. Yeah.
And I think I will say I think it depends on at least for us it's been like what's the objective of the film. So what are you trying to convey to the audience, and how tastefully are you doing that?
Yeah.
I think there's a difference between like this shock value versus trying to really be true.
Is it relevant to the story?
And then is it true? Like you're trying to really paint a clear picture of what this is for people to understand the depth of it as well.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the message?
Exactly. Yes.
That's fair. And I know that there's a lot of the more extreme films that I certainly haven't even skimmed the top of, so to speak, but it's not exactly something that you just want to jump into. You got to be having a really good day.
Yes, guys, you're gonna take your time here. Yes.
Yeah.
And again, if that is not your thing, if you think that would be horrific or triggering to you, don't.
Right.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
There's stuff I'm sure that would not necessarily fall under the extreme things or category that would trigger some people. So there's no judgment here. We don't do that.
Right.
So that's fair, and that's kind of the consensus I've noticed with a lot of the guests. So totally understand. I also understand because there have been people who have said this on that subject that it's kind of cathartic for them to be able to see someone get revenge after something horrific like that. So
I can see that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Totally
That's right. Yeah, that's what I think. It's like it's literally for the most part what you can take from it.
Yeah.
Like because I can totally understand that takeaway as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's many different layers. It's all subjective.
Right.
Yeah, very subjective. Yep.
I agree. That's true.
I have put up a little banner. So if anybody in the chat has any questions for Kira and Meka, please do feel free to vocalize. We will be getting to those in just a moment. On the flip side of that question, do you guys have any comfort character or characters, whether it's horror or not?
Ooh, that's such a good question.
I have a
Comfort
lot.
characters. Oh,
Well,
really?
Yeah, I like.
That's great. You said a lot.
Well,
That's
of
great.
course I have Ripley, but I'm thinking of the ones I like. People Understairs. I love Fool. That's a comfort film
that's
for
a
me.
good one.
Jennifer's Body.
Oh my God! Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. My idiot.
I have a thing with strong. We love strong women. So things
I feel like on TV too, like Buffy.
Yeah, You're Next.
Oh yes, Aaron.
I love Final Girls like that.
I'm trying to think. There's so many good ones.
Yeah, even TV. We big TV people too. So like,
I loved Orphan Black.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of characters like
Xena
Warrior Princess.
We tend to really love our strong women.
Yes, like Birds of Prey and Cleopatra 2525. Oh yeah, kick-ass women. Yes,
but we can throw in a lot of comfort. Night of the Demons is a comfort one.
That's one. Yep. Gosh, I throw in a lot of time. I don't know why I've been watching this lately, but Christy. That's so weird.
Yeah,
she's so weird to me. I'm loving that Christy gets the upper hand. I don't know if you've seen that, Dice, but it's like like thriller.
Yeah, it's usually set around Thanksgiving.
Yeah, a girl left on campus for Thanksgiving break, and she's a final girl, and I love her getting the upper hand.
It is weird. We get on these rotations where like I'll have a movie where I go to sleep to every night. Like for a while it goes Demons. So it's just like I just throw it. Watch it. I love it. Go to sleep, and I just do that every night. She on the Christy here.
That's so weird. It's so weird to me. I was watching it last night.
Yeah,
I keep throwing that on. That's so funny.
But
don't judge me, anyone.
The police, if they're used to me, I don't think you have anything to worry about. No, there's comfort that was an interesting question for me. That's why I had to include it, of course. But I always think it's interesting to see the comfort movie series, but especially like characters and strong women. That's sure. That's a very, very almost unanimous, I would say, among a lot of people is just strong female lead. So
Yes. And I think I think it's like so cool because there's always like dimensional. And so like if I use Buffy, all of the things that Buffy goes through in terms of emotions, we can have like an episode that's pure comedy, an episode that's very dark, and then like she's kicking ass, and the next one is just I love it. You never know like what she's always going to be met with something, but I think that it's very dimensional, her character, in my opinion.
We love a bit of it. A bit of overcoming adversity.
Like a little bit of everything.
We love a dimensional character,
yes.
We love a character with depth, yes.
Yes.
And that could be, I don't know, you could read into that as well. I've noticed that, at least for myself, I'll latch on to a character that isn't given much, but I'll add something. I'll read into things. So, see, once again, subjective. It's entirely up to you.
Exactly, yep.
Hey, if your comfort character happens to be Michael Myers, okay, fine.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah. That's my boy.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, that's why we didn't mention Halloween.
Halloween.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, we watched that one.
I can't even count how many times we've
throughout the year too. So not just Halloween. So because that's one too that was in rotation with going to sleep on. So yeah.
Fair enough. That's need I say it's a popular movie.
Yes.
A classic for many. I may not be the biggest fan, but I still have appreciation.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's okay.
Subjective.
Yeah. There you go. They're very nice. Very nice selections, of course. I think, Ripley right off the top.
Oh, she's favorite. Oh,
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
You're a fan.
I just love Sigourney Weaver, Queen.
I think, shockingly or not, Ripley is usually also one that I'll pick for who's your favorite, like, final room.
Oh, yes.
We hate to say, but every time it's Ripley. Sorry, guys. No deviation.
I mean, all she really had to do was go back for the cat, and I would have been good. But everything else is good too.
Oh yeah. And Dice, we have a cat, so I said, look at that. I said, not even a thought.
Yeah, we said that too. I said we would have to.
We probably would have been killed, but I would have to make the effort to go back.
We had to get my fur baby.
I am not leaving that behind.
I can't do it. Yeah.
No, my family are very much pet lovers, but I, in particular, really like cats. So
yes.
Yeah.
Die trying.
I know.
Instead of die trying.
Yeah, I'll at least try.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Let's catch up a little bit on the chat. Shot, yes. The Horror Cat Dead, Aliens is a classic, definitely a sci-fi action horror masterpiece.
Yes.
It gets a lot of love, and it's deserving of such, to be quite honest.
Yes.
And that's just coming from one watch from me. So,
I love it. That's nice.
Yes, but thank you. It's inciting. The inciting incidents.
Yes. And I love that combo. Yes, sci-fi, horror, everything.
It does cover a lot of different genres.
Yeah.
Action
was the one that I was hearing the most of. And
definitely. Yeah, the part 2 definitely didn't hold up with that.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get there. Marty, or the Trash Picture Show. The Ash attack is very metaphorical for SA. Him rolling up the adult magazine and ramming it down her throat.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a tough scene. Yeah.
There's a podcast that I listened to, Good Morning Nancy, and they covered this, and they were talking about that specifically. Yeah, it was. They came up with a lot that I didn't even think of, and I was like, wow, touche. So I recommend that as well. Yeah, I know they covered it. But I know they covered Alien, so
Ooh,
that was one thing they talked about.
Okay,
and they did mention that. In addition to that, actually, I think in that room or pod or whatever they would call it, It's the adult magazine, but it's also a room that's like plastered with all these hypersexualized images of women. So
Mhm.
I get the metaphor.
Mhm, mhm.
So,
Yeah, that scene is a tough one too. Yeah.
And then the doors closing. Yeah,
Mhm.
just like yeah.
I mean, I'm sure, like you said earlier, when you're an adult, you see it in a bit of a different light.
Right.
As a kid,
exactly.
as a kid, you're just like, oh my god, this is intense. She might
Mhm.
die. And then as an adult, you're like, wow. So there's a lot more in this.
Exactly. Yes.
Gray, Buffy is based always, always.
Okay.
The trash picture show once again. The theatrical edition removes the subplot of Ripley's daughter. Depending on the version you've watched,
Yeah.
does the emotional turmoil still work with that element removed? What's your thoughts? Well, I watched. I have a feeling this was the broader version, if you or you said the theatrical edition, so it must not be the theatrical edition, director's
Yeah,
cut or something.
Yeah, depending on which one. Yeah, one will mention the daughter and one doesn't. And I think one even showed
Oh, the picture of like what she how much older she was when she passed
and
away.
I was remembering the scene too where they like a scene of when you saw her. Like
Oh yeah,
older,
Yeah, they did show a picture. I remember that. And when I forget his name.
Bert.
Yeah, thank you. The scumbag.
I know.
When he's talking to Ripley about her, and he says something to the effect of, she was 66, and that was when she died 2 years ago. It's like, oh, okay. Good to know. Thanks.
Yeah.
Length of time, yeah.
And I'm wondering, because based on that question, I'm wondering, depending on which one you watch, does it affect kind of the emotional turmoil? I don't think so.
Well, I think
not for me.
Well, I think you can kind of take it two ways. Like, I think there's definitely something to be said about the time you lost in terms of what I will say, if there's something to come home to, like, right? Because I've had like, for me, like if she had the daughter, the depth of that loss is going to be much more impactful, because not only was she gone so long, she was gone from someone that she loved, and then the loss, I'm sure she was probably holding that her daughter went through, because remember she said she was going to be back for her birthday, I think there was, or just even, just think about that. But if you didn't have anything, let's say you weren't married, even that's not important, but like no significant other, nothing of importance, a job or something to return to, you still lose time, but not in the same way. Maybe.
I can see that.
Just a different world, perhaps.
That's a really, it's an interesting concept of losing 50 some odd years that they mentioned there, because I mean, I can only imagine that this would be relative to people who may have been in comas, perhaps, where they've lost that time. Maybe not so much, obviously, but they've lost that time, and I can't relate to that, thankfully. But imagining it is a highly panic-inducing kind of thing.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, you're getting acclimated to a whole new world. And even how she finds herself like trying to get back into work, because she tried to get, trying to get a job, because she wanted to feel useful. But yeah, just because some of the work I've done too is with individuals who have been incarcerated. So they've lost a significant amount of time, and I have had individuals who've been in prison for a long period of time, and when they come back, the world has continued. So you don't know the technology, you don't know the so it's kind of how Ripley, you find in her to navigate in a new world.
Oh, that's actually very interesting. I immediately went to coma, but that is a very good point. Like people who have been incarcerated, people maybe even who have been off at war, and you come back to the normal world. So that's a good point, actually. Expanding the thought. But that's quite terrifying. Even just a couple of years would probably be very disorienting.
Definitely. And think about how things have like just in the small time frames there, like how things shift so quickly, especially technology.
I know, even us keeping up on some of the technology, it's like it's something like new all the time. You know what I mean? And we tech adverse, so even with our streaming, I'm like,
oh my god, think about that, we're in the thick of it.
Yeah, I'm here, and even I'm like, when did this happen?
Nice.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that is a very interesting element of the mental health perspective, I think.
I got that feeling useful. Like even when you saw her trying to.
Well, the one good thing that I thought was pretty cool is I looked at Ripley as saying like, oh, look, I want you guys to know I'm not just here to be here. Like I have something to add. And then the fact that she was able to it was like an afterthought. She already knew how to do that. She was trained to use that machine. So I think it was just trying to acclimate and find her place in a group where they could respect her maybe a little bit more. But then more so like I think that we really don't have a concept a bit about what the world was like to the world we find her in part 2. Like how vastly different is it?
Yeah, and I do like her trying to be useful. It's probably something that a lot of people would be like, well, you don't need to do that shit. I mean, look what you went through already. But in my mind, and I'm sure many others, if I were in that situation, I'd be just like that. Like, what can I do? I can't just stand around here as a consultant. What can I do?
Exactly.
Keep myself busy, you know.
Right.
And I'm sure that's also a very good coping mechanism after everything. Let me do something. Let me do something productive.
Be busy, like just it can also be distracting too.
Yeah, from your thoughts and everything too.
Yeah, because you can ruminate in your thoughts with like too much time on your hand.
That's not always a good thing.
Oh
no. Speaking from experience. No.
Oh, right. I said that too. Sometimes like it's too much idle time is not a good thing. Along with your thoughts always.
Yeah, keep yourself
busy.
I've
the reason.
I've taken time away from like doing stuff on YouTube, and I can always tell when I need to get back to doing something. We need to do something. Let me make something. I don't know, something silly or stupid, whatever.
Something.
Yeah. But in relation to Marty's comment, I think, and as you guys said, if we didn't get that little like link to her daughter, then it would probably still be compelling for why she would want to go after Newt and protect Newt, but maybe not quite as heavy as it was with that information.
Yes, exactly. So, agreed. Totally.
Just like if we didn't know about what happened with Ash, then we wouldn't understand her aversion to Bishop.
Exactly. Yep. These little nuggets, yes.
The exposition. This is important. That's important. So I'm glad at least that I watched that version. I'm glad to know that was the correct one. Let's rush picture show once again. Keep in mind, too, Ripley could have fucked off and let the ship keep floating to be found by the company. She blew that shit up to protect not only Earth, but her daughter, too. After all that, her daughter is still lost to her. Yeah. So it almost feels like it's a weird little double-edged sword because, Ripley pretty much saved the whole Earth or several planets, but she also lost probably someone who is the key important person in her life at the same time. So it's almost like it's half in vain in a weird way.
That bittersweet. I think that's the only word I can think of. It is quite bittersweet.
Yeah, and we see that with Ripley in the first movie too. She has the mindset to be we're concerned about others, because in the first film you saw that too with her wanting them to follow quarantine and making sure you follow the rules to keep everyone safe. And also here she does that too with the mindset of we can't let these things get off of this planet and again for others, you know what I mean? Yeah, so she even with everything going on, I love that about her character.
Very self-sacrificing.
Very much so, yeah.
So another reason to like Ripley, of course. Like we needed it, didn't he?
Yeah, because I always say when I watch it too, ooh, could I do that? You know what I mean? Because
and it makes you think sometimes because I know some like with films, sometimes we usually don't always get a backstory. So how Ripley became the person that she is, but then you see all of these qualities that she embodies. That maybe she might not even be clear of until in those situations, but very layered in terms of like compassion, leadership, like vulnerability. Like there's just so much stuff going on there.
Yeah, and she's letting you know too. I'm scared, but you know what I mean. But I'm still
scared, but I'm pulling it together. But even those moments of just like fear and like terror, and like still okay, I still gotta get it going.
Yeah,
and nobody would blame her for it.
Yeah.
But
I think my favorite scenes is the one with Hudson, but he was showing how not Hudson
Hicks.
Hicks, yeah, when he was showing her how to use the weapon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because she wanted to learn it. Like, I'm not just going to stand here and let me protect myself. I love that.
And in just that, I mean, the scene where she's going to go after Newt in the climax, this like getting the weaponry together and everything, that's clearly it's like a ticking time for her, but she's still getting all this together. That ride down in the elevator to me was like, wow, I think I've kind of experienced something like that. Obviously not to that extreme, but I recognize that.
Oh my gosh. And see, that in and of itself is so anxiety.
Yeah, the countdown.
Oh, well, not even like just what Dice just said, even like those steps of preparation, right? And just that long elevator ride down. Like you have no idea what you're walking into.
I know.
And that deep breath of like, okay.
I'm just gonna go for it.
And then you do that.
Oh my God.
I think everybody's experienced some amount of that in some way. Even
yes.
People with anxiety, I'm sure, like, I see that.
Yeah.
Definitely. And that's the thing with anxiety too, like those triggers, people, places, and things. Like that can be for some people an everyday thing that the things that provoke this social anxiety even. So it's real.
Yeah, very much. And like you said, everybody has different triggers for that. As someone with anxiety, I'm like, just I think Ripley's very relatable to people who have anxiety, especially, but also I'm sure PTSD.
Oh, yes.
Right. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, you definitely can see the PTSD.
Yeah, you know what scene stands out for me too? Remember when they're doing like almost like the debriefing and they even have Ripley speak a little bit about like explaining to like the team, they're not really taking her seriously, but she's like even the response, you can see emotionally how hard that was for even to kind of talk about it. And then she quickly like, you got to take it, I'm paraphrasing here, like take it seriously. Like, but even when she was talking, you just saw like the emotional rawness there.
Yeah, it was reliving essentially what she had been through. And yeah, it's been like 50 some odd years for everybody else, but for her, it was literally the next day.
Exactly. Yep.
So,
yeah. You see that even when they find the missing crew, like with the she's seeing the eggs and she clutching her throat when you have the person like they find
clutching the other
chest, it's like she's really living that.
Yep. Having a nightmare pretty much literally come to life. Right. So once again, if anybody has any questions or comments or what have you, please leave them in the chat. We shall get to those. The Dress Picture Show, Hicks and Ripley only had about 15 lines of dialogue with each other. Still a better love story than Twilight. All joking aside, they had great chemistry without it being forced. And I always appreciate that.
Yes, I did. I like that. And they had a respect for each other, I saw too. And I can see
we just send Hudson pull it together.
I know, and I love that Hicks too respected Ripley.
I think the interesting thing about Hicks was, well, he had no choice. He was like next in command. But I think there was like you said, a mutual respect. There was no push and pull there. It was like, oh, what do you think? Like, and vice versa.
Yeah. And I appreciate that. Like Marty said, it wasn't forced. First of all, it wasn't like she's got to be with someone or whatever. It's just like, there's this possible attraction, but right now there's everything.
A glimpse of it.
Yeah, you saw a glimpse of it. Yeah, and I think what I saw from Hicks that he admired, especially when she said, "Show me how to do the weapon. I can handle it." He said, I know. You know what I mean? I think that I love that line too.
Yeah, and he had genuine concern, especially, which I know is a scene that a lot of people bring up as being extraordinarily tense, and I agree. The med area scene when they're locked in there.
Oh yes! Oh my God, that was frightening.
Yeah, that one was, and especially when they wake up, because you get a minute of rest when you fall asleep and being able to actually being able to sleep, like just feeling at ease enough to do that, and you even awake to that. Oh my God!
Way to hell.
Literally dice.
I know that scene is so. Whew. Yeah, it's like we're in trouble. Wake up.
Oh yeah.
Be very quiet. We're in shit.
Oh, very much so. Oh, Burke.
One of the villains that I think really deserved what he got, if it wasn't going to be at the hands of like Ripley slapping the absolute shit out of him, then
Oh,
it
yeah, I
yes,
know. I know Hudson too. Hudson and Vasquez. He could have gotten it many times.
Yeah, I think Bert got his due diligence.
Due justice.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Gray Poupée, Hudson deserved better.
Oh my God! I was so we were when we like first watched this, we were devastated
I love Hudson.
about Hudson.
Yeah. I think he could have went out a little bit better.
They could have did it better than that, but
I mean, I understand. I like Vasquez, Hudson. I mean, honestly, the whole soldier group, there wasn't really anyone that I was like, "You're an asshole."
right.
Yeah.
It was just Burke.
Oh my God, Bird.
Because Bert just symbolizes that corporate greed. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Someone's got to be the capitalistic asshole.
Yeah.
The suit, as they say.
Oh my God.
Question from the Trash Picture Show. What's Meka and Kira's thoughts on Alien 3? Sorry, Dice. I have to ask. No, it's fine.
We might be different on that, but I actually like. I like 3.
Well, no, we can have different points of view. We can,
No, because I don't like it as much as I
do not. The reason, why do you like it?
Yeah, I like it. I like it because I like to see. Well, I probably don't like the way it started because again we have Ripley again experiencing loss again because I'm like, can we give this woman a break? But I do. I do like the trajectory of her character because again Ripley is for other. And she also is kind of really self-sacrificing in that film as well. So
I respect that. I will say I do not like part 3. I would be happy with 3 didn't exist. And I don't want to ruin it for Dice. So what I will say, Dice, about this film is I think there is loss that occurs that was unnecessary.
Oh, okay.
I don't understand the rationale for landing where she landed, and I don't understand the ending in terms of what happens to Ripley. I'm trying to grapple with that. So I just feel I feel like whoever did with 3 was kind of like, oh, we needed a third movie.
Yeah. Money.
Make a 3, but the story.
But funny thing too, we actually love, and a lot of people don't like that one, Alien Resurrection.
Oh yeah, we do. Because if you have to do now, you have to do something because of 3. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah.
Fair enough.
Oh, I'm curious if they like 3.
Yes. Yes.
Marty. Yes. Some other folks who liked. Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
I on my own, but it's okay. Subjective, you guys. Subjective.
I enjoy it. I enjoy it. 3.
Oh, you love 3.
I mean, I've said this many times before. That I'm sure there's a lot of horror movies that others are like, really?
You know what though? This is the one thing I'm remembering about 3 now is like think about the trauma. The scene in terms of that involves Ripley and one of the inmates. There's another incident without giving it too much away. That again compounds a traumatic event for her. There's intervention there, thankfully, but people probably understand what I mean there.
Most likely, I'll eventually understand. Let's see. Gray Vasquez was boss.
Oh, I love Vasquez.
That is. Yeah. Dang, I love Vasquez. And there was, I'm being honest, and tell me if I'm wrong. I feel like Vasquez, even though she does experience a loss of one of the soldiers that were apparently looked very close to her, she was like never showed any fear to me, honestly. Like I didn't see Vasquez at all ever present as fearful, unless I'm wrong. For me, she didn't at all. She was always Aliens. Strong women across the board, I think too. Like Newt, Ripley, Vasquez, the alien queen.
Yeah.
She counts. I feel like Vasquez never showed any. Like there was no.
She had a tough exterior.
Yeah, she just really seemed like quite stoic. Like very.
We'll get it done.
Let's do this.
Yeah, I think. And reading more into that, I don't think it's too difficult actually. Given that she's, aside from Ripley, the only female in this group, and has obviously been with this group for a long time, I'm sure that she had to kind of be that really strong, kind of harsh exterior
Mhm.
because she was literally in a man's world.
All right.
Dominated world,
Right.
yeah.
All right.
But
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
no, she
yeah.
does
Dice,
show
remember,
emotion.
yes, it makes me Dice talking. It makes me remember when Hudson, remember Vasquez is working out, and then Hudson said something like, "Oh, are you a dude?"
Yeah, I think
And she said, like, "Oh, are you?"
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like that play on like Vasquez is stronger than Hudson any day of the week.
Yeah.
Well, I remember that. That's I had heard about that line before I saw the movie, and I thought that was quite funny. I appreciated that.
Mhm.
And I think it was essentially Hudson asking, "Hey Vasquez, have you ever been mistaken for a man?"
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
He's like, "No, have you?"
Yeah. Love Vasquez.
Yeah. Quick comeback, yeah.
Too
I
bad.
appreciate that for multiple reasons, but we know this. So, you know, hey. But you know, I don't think she ever really, like you said, showed fear, at least externally. I'm sure that internally she was
Mhm.
feeling that, but let's not show that. We got important things to do.
Right.
But the loss of, and I forget his name. I want to say
Oh, it's
Frosty?
yeah,
Frost.
chips,
Frost.
something like that.
No, was it Tracy? I thought it
It's
was
something
Frost.
like
No,
that.
Frost. That's not Frost.
No,
Frost was
it's
the other.
it's long, the name. I know the name, but I butchered his name because I remember when he passed away and she say it is long. It was like Jim Bass.
Well, whatever his name was. Oh, Drake?
Oh,
it Drake?
Drake!
Oh, thank you, Marty.
Yeah. I was like, and let me look it up too because I said he had a long last name.
Of course, see this. Bless you, Marty, because you know.
Yeah, for the chat coming through.
But that was a moment where I think we saw at least a little bit of vulnerability from Vasquez.
Oh yeah, yep.
Because clearly that guy in particular meant a lot to her and vice versa. So to lose him, it was something.
Isn't there like handshake?
Yeah,
yeah. It's all camaraderie.
Jim hot in the
Oh yeah, the clips,
the
bullets.
Let's see. Gray. I long for what Alien 3 could have been.
Oh, thank you. Agreed.
The Trash Picture Show, considering we could have gotten Alien 3 with a wooden monastery sphere spaceship, a sheep alien, and the Xeno killing monks by pulling them down through the toilets.
Oh. I remember the remember the scene. I don't want to give it away when they're trying to get the alien to go one specific direction. Yeah,
I like that scene. I like that.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't want to give it away because Dice hasn't seen it yet.
Yes. Nah, we're good. Everybody else is probably like, you can say it.
I know we don't do spoilers.
Yes, we do try to. Well, of course. Here we do some spoilers, of course, but it's just because we're talking about the movie. So, perhaps sometime in the future, aliens will be something to discuss. We don't know.
Oh yeah, Dice, and especially if you get to see. Well, there's some you don't have to see. You don't have to see Aliens versus Predator and Aliens Requiem.
No. They fun though.
They fun. They have nothing to do with like the Sigourney Weaver story.
Oh yeah, they kind of do. They all but it's fun.
Fair enough. I've heard there's some stupidity here and there.
Yes.
That's the kind of those are kind of ones like comfort ones too.
Yes, guys. We could throw us. So let's say if I'm having a really bad day, for example, and now this is where like sometimes just daily life can like kind of stress you out or like. I could throw on Aliens versus Predator. There you go. Like just fun. Like I could be doing laundry, like cleaning my room with that on, and then I'm enjoying that. That's a good example of something that's like, well, this is fun.
Yeah.
It's taking my mind elsewhere.
Not everything has to be really deep.
Yes.
All the time. We can have some stupid enjoyment here. I mean, really.
Yes. And then pick a side. Are you for Predators or are you for Aliens?
There you go. Marty? No.
I know. What's a
let's see. I think just about the last one. We'll see what happens in the chat here. But last question. What would you guys like to say to anyone who is listening or watching this who may be dealing with some similar things as what is portrayed in the movie?
Ooh. Gosh, I got to use that from work. Yeah. I think ideally, and I'm someone that always feels like self-disclosure is very important. And so I'm a person where like I will, to the individual people that I support, I will always remind people that regardless of what you're going through, seek some type of support, but that doesn't have to look the same for everyone. So that could be a holistic modality, that could be yoga, that could be therapy, that could also be meditation. It can look very different. I just encourage people to seek something that grounds you, that provides you a sense of solace and some support at the end of the day.
Yeah,
and it's trial and error.
Yeah, and I think a big thing I always say with individuals I work with is kind of you're not alone, because one thing with mental health we always say is a kind of sometimes I say sometimes a disease that a lot of people can't see, because you can look happy, but I have some mental health going on, some depression, some anxiety. So you never know what someone else is experiencing. So I always work with my individuals with being compassionate and letting them know you're not alone. And it's okay to acknowledge that there's something going on. And it's okay to have setbacks too, because part of dealing with mental health is you're going to have setbacks. You're going to have days that are bad. You may have more bad days than good days. But what do you do with those good days? And how do you kind of keep yourself going through those bad days? And like Kira said, it can be a lot of different things, journaling, and not really being upset with yourself when you do have bad days, because that's normal.
Yeah, no, that's very good. I like everything you said. But yeah, the recovery is, from what I have been told, of course, dealing as someone with both physical and mental issues, recovery is not linear.
Yes,
right,
yes,
exactly.
yes.
It's a weird little thing. It's different for everybody, just like you said. And seeking help, however you might see it as help, whatever's accessible to you.
Exactly.
That's what's important. It doesn't have to be, friend A has been going to this therapist. You don't have to go to that therapist too. Whatever works for you. That's the whole point.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it has to work for you.
I just said you can't like I had someone tell me before, like oh, Shakira, like if someone tells me just go for a walk again, I'm gonna scream. And I'm like, I totally understand that, right? Because in real time, that is not something that is helpful to you, nor will it make you feel better. So that's why I always say it really is trial and error, because there's sometimes where you just don't have the energy or they have the ability to do anything, and that's okay. Meeting yourself where you are, and then realizing what works for one person may not work for you. And that's where that trial and error comes through. Don't be hard on yourself for what doesn't necessarily fit for you. That might not be your thing.
Yeah, be patient with yourself.
Yes, and patient with yourself.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's something I'm still learning, but
ditto.
Being patient with yourself.
Kind to self.
Kind to self. Yeah, kind to self, especially when you're not feeling 100%.
Yeah. And self-care, of course. Again, whatever that looks like to you.
Yes.
And we social workers, so we got it really bad sometimes with self-care.
It's not ironic. Yeah, but true.
Yeah, light a nice scented candle.
I know. My fur babies. So that's a lot of good stuff.
Anything that brings you these moments of joy. Yes.
And horror movies. Horror movie. Yep.
Christy, right after this dice.
There you go. See, the night's plans are already set.
Yes.
Wonderful. And everybody get ideas.
Yes. And Dice watch Aliens 3.
I'll be working on that. I'll be working on that. I promise.
Okay.
Let's see. The Trash Picture Show. Drake and her grew up in a juvenile detention facility where we're given the option to join the Marines together. Cameron wrote the Marines a backstory, and my nerdy ass had the Wayland Yutani archive book.
Wow, love that.
Thank you.
Love that.
See, with the background information. Thank you, Liz.
Yes. Because I love them.
Sorry.
Hello, Dell.
Hey, Dell.
Hello, Bronson.
Hello.
All right. If there are any more questions, now is the time. So, in the absence of currently, is there anything that you guys would like to plug, share? Anything you guys have going on coming up?
Oh, well, we just did a stream yesterday. So if you guys want to catch the replay on that, because it was Women's History Month, so we just highlighted our favorite female performances, both on the big screen and small screen, because we do like TV. We're going to be working on, like we said, being a little bit more consistent, because the big thing with our like work is pretty full time. So we're trying to make sure we find that creative balance.
Good luck.
Yeah, I know.
Lot.
But get it more consistent with the content. But you can find us, like we said, on Instagram and YouTube. We're going to be doing a little bit more, maybe doing some more live streams too.
Very good. And of course, all of their links
Sorry, guys.
are in the description for everybody. I do highly recommend, of course. Please and thank you. Hello, Steve. I am so late to the chat that I'm 30.
Oh, no worries.
Catching up double speed.
Yo, man, yo. No, it's fine. It's all right. Don't worry. There's always a replay that's important, you know. And
Yeah, I love a replay.
oh, bless. Aren't we glad?
Oh, yes.
Otherwise, the Trash Picture Show. Apologies for going full nerd. Awesome stream
I
day.
love that. Because I love this.
Because that explains so much of the context and
Context.
backstory. I love that.
Because clearly, I don't know.
Educating us as well. Love it.
I love the backstory because that gives
It
more
provides more depth
to their relationship.
And it explains the significance of that loss. Vastly more.
Yeah. So that makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
So, thank you, Marty. Let's do.
Oh, I know. I love it.
Who else will provide this information?
Oh my god! I gotta love it.
Wayne Turner. Hi all. It is 12:32 p.m. Sydney, Australia. That's right. Love aliens.
Wayne, we have a friend who lives in Melbourne who has invited us countless times to visit. We just have never gone because of the plane ride.
I know, it's so long.
So Wayne,
I'm
give
so
us some,
bad with-
manifest some good energy that we can get to your
I
neck of the
know.
woods.
I'm so bad with
Yeah.
the plane rides.
Heard your country is beautiful, and I'm so upset that we are dragging our feet to get there.
Oh no, someday. Let's
I
start a
know.
GoFundMe. Let's go.
Bro, gotta get there.
Love Aliens, watched in theaters, have score in vinyl record.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Vinyl.
I know. Oh, Sunday. So you're in the future.
I
right
know,
now.
they're in the future.
I know.
I know.
It's
I
so
love
cool
that.
to me. That's why I love the time zone, seeing where people are.
Let's see. Where did I put that? I put
Oh
it
yeah,
here.
it's called well, you can find us on YouTube at Double Feature Podcast.
Yes, but on Instagram at Double Feet Podcast.
Yeah.
It's a little different. You guys can.
Yeah, we kind of
so
switch it up a little
fine.
bit depending on where it.
Yeah.
I had to do the same, so
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, we
this
should have-
username has been taken.
Oh, yes, there we go. So yeah, in our thing, how do you say the header is the
Yeah,
Instagram
yeah.
handle. Yeah, and then that has all our links.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There you go. If nothing else, look for a Double Feature Podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see. Gray, does the future of the Alien franchise excite you or concern you?
Oh, I'm excited
I'm
because I'm looking
excited.
forward to my the Alien Romulus movie, which is supposed to be in between Alien and Aliens. So I know I'm excited. Yeah, and then Fede Alvarez, who I like, is doing it. So I think I'm all about it, and I love the franchise. We love I like Prometheus.
I did not like Covenant, you guys.
I like Covenant.
But I did thoroughly enjoy Prometheus. So yes.
Yeah.
See, I feel as though like the future of it can actually tie the collective series together quite nicely.
I'm excited.
There are some that I could go without.
Yeah. I'm always open to seeing people's interpretation of a film.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Sigourney comes back. I'm always there.
Yeah, I don't think so though.
I know. I'm just wishful thinking.
We can try.
Yes.
We can try. Yes. Twins, in case you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Or at least we hope so. Otherwise, wow, the cloning works.
Look at that. Oh, I know Double.
Dell on movies. Yes, the twins had an awesome live stream the other night.
Oh, thanks, Del. Oh, Jinx. Oh my god.
Well, you guys should check that out as well after this. Yes. Wayne, no pressure. This latest Alien movie sucks, and the franchise should die for a while. Ooh.
Oh, see, you got okay. Thank you.
No, keep them coming. Keep them.
I'm with Wayne on like, don't have to overdo it. We don't have to oversaturate. Like,
And I'm like, overdo it. Let's go.
the plot goes out the window.
Hey, I've seen some of the
Yeah.
Hello Halloween franchise.
Oh,
Not the torches. Yes, they are twins.
yes. And I'm the by 1 minute.
1 minute.
Oh. Hey, flaunt it,
Sydney
use
is
it.
very better than Melbourne. Okay, wait, I'll note that. Okay. So I'll check out
Is-
Melbourne when we get there and then head
Yeah,
over
go
to
to
Sydney.
Sydney.
Have to compare the two.
Mhm.
I'll take your word for it.
Is this Australian discourse? Wayne, new Australian horror movie Sting.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I heard about that.
I've been hearing about that too, so
Mhm.
I'll have to investigate.
Mm-hmm.
Saw 11 is coming.
Heard about that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
No, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I've heard
What are
about
they going
that.
to do with it?
yeah. I don't know.
Mm. Bronson Wright Wolf. This question is for Kira and Mika. What are some of your favorite 80s horror movies?
Ooh. Wow. Ooh, that's tough.
Let me see.
Ooh, definitely Silver Bullet.
Silver Bullet, we love.
Top tier there.
Mm.
Ooh, I like the, what would you say that's a word?
What?
The Lost Boys?
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so Lost Boys. Huh.
I'm even trying to look at some of the ones I
I know, Mika.
favorites.
Look through the
God.
catalog.
When you say Brood?
Oh yeah, I like the Brood.
Ooh, The Blob.
The Blob. Ooh,
Ooh, there's too many to think of this time. Ooh, Amityville Horror.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
what
80s, right?
What are you thinking? 80s.
I think
Oh, is that
no.
I think that's like
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
Oh, Shining, right?
Yeah, it's my Shining.
The Shining.
Girl, my mind is going blank.
Yeah, The Shining, of course. Yes, that's just a few. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
because so many. Yeah.
80s is a very thick with horror era.
Yes.
We appreciate.
Yes.
Even they. My stepmother is an alien. Not really. Well, hey, who am I to judge? I don't know.
That's funny.
Wayne, twins thoughts on Aussie horror.
Aussie horror. Gosh, I feel like I'm gonna have to delve.
Yeah,
What
because
deep I'm trying to think. What have I seen? Oh, well, you loved
I like the loved ones.
Oh yeah, but didn't you? I haven't seen those.
Wolf Creek. Yeah.
She keeps telling me not to, because I'm one of those people. I will say, when I don't like, although I know it's real, Mika will warn me about films where they take everyone out. I always want someone standing.
Yeah,
that's not the evil person.
And I tell Kira,
she's like, "Don't watch Wolf Creek."
I said, "It's like horror, though."
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, she get upset if she don't.
I do.
Have any survivors.
Yeah, we gotta have at least one person. Come on.
Yes.
Some
I'll have to delve more into Aussie horror. Sometimes we tend to, which is intense, French horror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we love a lot of Asian horror too. Yeah.
There's a lot of different areas that I still need to explore.
Oh, green, yes.
So, I think the last Australian based horror movie that I watched, unfortunately, was Howling 3.
I didn't see that. Oh no. Oh, Wayne will have to recommend some.
Yeah,
recommend some.
Let's see. Original, A Nightmare on Elm Street and Child's Play.
Oh, excellent choices.
Yeah, I like Child's Play. My Chucky.
And see, that was a movie that scared me when I was little. Now when you look at Chucky, I'm like, oh my god, I totally could take Chucky on.
I will punch this little thing, right?
I'm like, I could take you. I think
it's like dealing with a very sugar hyped toddler. That's
Chucky. So.
The Trash Pictures show. If the twins liked Alien and Aliens, they should check out Underwater.
We love Underwater.
We thoroughly enjoyed Underwater.
Very underrated.
Yes, and I feel that the reviews were mixed on that.
Yeah,
we enjoyed it.
That's a great one.
Talk about a film that just starts right off, like in the midst of terror.
The movie just goes 0 to 60 right off the gate.
That was really good. I enjoyed Underwater.
I haven't seen it yet, but there were little pieces, of course, that I did see, and I definitely got like aliens.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And then Fear Unlocked, being underwater.
Old fear reignited. Thank you.
That already made me scared,
but it was well done.
Yeah. We're going down in deep dark water. Yeah, I don't think so.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah, Kristen Stewart did great in that.
I think so too. Yeah. Again. badass in that to me. In
Mhm.
terms, yeah.
Loved ones.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
what I said. I like the loved ones. That's what
That's what it is. Yeah.
Trash Bashir show, and if they
Oh,
had
Grabber!
fun Irish
Oh,
Ah,
we
love
love
Grabbers.
Grabbers, and we always recommend this. Not a lot of people have heard about that, but
Mm.
Grabbers is such a fun time.
It really is. It really is.
We get a kick out.
Oh yeah, because it's so funny because you had to stay drunk. And or like impaired under the influence. If you were drunk, they didn't particularly care for the taste of
Yeah,
you.
the aliens.
So the movie was funny, had those funny elements
Mhm.
too, just because of that.
Oh, I did. Okay, I see Wayne. I did see that Wayne Road Games with Jamie Lee
Road
Curtis.
Games.
Oh yeah,
I've seen that. We
What's-
actually own that.
what's Housebound?
Oh, Housebound. This is a good one.
That was
or
a good
was that New Zealand?
New Zealand.
Yeah, we had that
Okay.
one too. Love
That was
one.
so funny. I love that too.
Yeah.
I thought so. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, we had, I love that one too. And
Yeah.
that's one that was in rotation for a while too.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it.
Patrick.
Oh,
no.
Patrick, who
I haven't
noted?
seen that.
Patrick.
Okay.
Let me write it down.
Sounds familiar.
Oh, I've not heard of that.
Interesting.
Patrick.
Yeah, I
Say
wrote,
Okay.
I wrote that
more
one
things for the watch list.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Mhm.
Ooh, and
Nikkei?
Ooh.
I'm gonna say Nikkei, but I'm probably incorrect.
too.
I haven't heard of that one
Oh,
either.
Oh, Needle.
Needle.
Okay.
Needle.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
Mm-mm.
Ooh, no good. Love when I have a recommendation I haven't seen yet. Ooh,
Yeah. There you go. Well, thank you, Wayne. Bless you.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. So, anything else that you wanted to mention about the movie, or in
Only thing
general?
I'll say, Wayne, if everyone dies in these movies that you recommended, I'm gonna be upset.
She okay. I would just say if you haven't seen Aliens, watch it. It's such a great film. Watch the first one, of course, first, so you can kind of have a better understanding.
Right.
But it's
A little bit more context.
Yeah, more context. But a great film. And like I said, it takes, I think, after a couple watches, because it is so action driven. I think if you watch it a couple times, you can really see how layered it is, and you catch different things that you may have not seen. Especially Ripley, kind of her overall character. But really, really great film, and I think it was done so well. Oh yeah,
Most definitely.
yeah. It has every element in there. So if you want drama, action, suspense, thriller, horror, everything.
And if you like special effects,
Yeah. Oh yes.
there you go.
Yeah, because even the Alien, they was ahead of their time what they did with the technology for these films.
Trash Picture Show for a serious Irish horror that tackles mental health. You Are Not My Mother.
We saw that.
I think we did.
That was excellent. That was really well done.
Yeah, I think we saw that.
We had seen that. We saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that was ooh. So I must say,
Definitely need
man.
a rewatch. Though.
Yeah, ooh, that was unsettling. Very good recommendation and underrated. I don't hear a lot of people talk about that at all.
No, news to me. So,
oh yes, add that to your list, Dice. That was very well done.
Yeah, I put it again just to rewatch it.
Oh yeah, that was unsettling.
Wayne, Wake in Fright.
Ooh,
Sounds
love these
vaguely
recommendations.
Apparently, it's quite good.
Oh,
Okay. Oh, it's brilliant. Oh,
getting fried.
Selling that one, brilliant. Ooh, I'm gonna find that one. My ex-girlfriend, not movie, just
You know, sometimes people can be walking horror movies, so you know. Hey.
Scarier than the fiction.
And
Yeah.
Bad
Boy puppy.
Boy Bubby.
Interesting. All right.
Oh, Wayne is giving it to us. I love it.
Wayne was prepared.
Yes.
List.
Oh, I'm excited about it.
All right, well, there you are. And I believe with that, oh, wait, we have one more question, I suppose. Bronson, there is a horror movie called, it came out in 1979. I mean, yes, we were just talking about that, I believe. If you're talking about the same alien,
Yes.
Sigourney Weaver.
Yes.
If there's another one, news to me.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
I
exactly.
know.
News to us, too.
Yes. And then, like I said, the films are so different, where I think the first film was like really more straight horror. Like the second one as a sequel, like I said, really a lot of action, horror stuff. So, yeah.
Ups the ante.
Yeah, ups the ante. Different tones for the film. Yeah.
Yeah. But it works.
It works well. Very seamless. I think it's a great follow-up to the first film.
Yeah. All right. Well, there we are. And I think with that, we have completed it. Yes.
Oh, yay!
I'm sure there's a lot more to talk about as far as aliens is concerned, but we're going to leave that to you guys in the comments. If you have any questions, of course, from now on, in the comments, and I shall, of course, pass those along if necessary.
Awesome. Nice.
Thank you to Kira and Mika for joining me. Always a pleasure, of course, to have you on to discuss
likewise. Yeah, guys, we'll have to get you on at some point here. I know we have to get many people on.
I know.
Here's a list.
I know. We can get screaming back together.
Yeah.
Movie. Oh, who's Danny DeVito? Who's Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Oh wow! Oh, I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger. Come on, my Karen, yes,
yeah, we'll go. Well,
Danny DeVito comes around. Yeah.
I mean, you can't really go too wrong with either. Like, I mean,
we'll go with it. Oh my god, I love that movie. I might watch that tonight.
Yeah,
oh my god, that's a fun one.
Oh, Upgrade. Okay.
Oh, we saw Upgrade. Yeah. We enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. All right, Branson. One last question. This question is for Kira and Mika. Have you seen Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders?
Oh my god, no. Okay, we'll note that.
I'll add
we'll
that.
write this down.
We do like a Scooby-Doo.
Okay, have you ever seen
that? That's one from my childhood. I remember.
Alien Invaders. That'll be a fun watch.
Yes.
Okay, noted on our watch list.
Yes, added.
Oh yes, we're gonna tackle it, crossing them off.
There we go. Thank you, Marty, for providing the background information.
All your backstory too.
Loved it.
This is your chance, my friend. Share, yes. And thank you, Wayne. Thank you for coming in. And
thank you.
Recommendations.
Yes, thanks.
All right, and with that, this has been another episode of Bring Mucus. So if you guys will stick with me for just a moment after we get off here. To everyone else, thank you so much in the chat for your recommendations, your questions, your conversation as always.
Oh, yes.
And remember, my dear friends, if you feel something oozing out of your headphones, don't worry, it's just your brain.